Welcome to today's reading. In today's pick a card, we're going to look at what is blocking you right now, and most importantly, how you can move forward. So we have 3 groups to choose from. I laid a card for each group. This will be group number 1, group number 2, and group number 3. So trust your intuition, pick which card is calling to you most, and we will see what Spirit wants you to know now. Pause the video if you need more time. Timestamps and chapters are below. Also down below, you'll find a link to my website, kittyrising.com, if you're interested in a private reading, and also a link for memberships if you want to further support the channel and get more content from me. I'm so grateful each of you are here. I will see you in your reading. Welcome, group number 1, to your reading. You were drawn to the 8 of Swords from the Light Seers Tarot. So we're going to see what's blocking you today and how to overcome that and move forward. Before we do so, I just want to take a moment and say thank you. Thank you all so much for being here. You are all so welcome and so loved in this space. Thank you to your spirit guides, to my spirit guides for assisting with the reading today. And thank you, Spirit, for your clear and accurate messages. So what is currently blocking group number 1? Let's actually pull 2 oracle cards and then we'll get into the tarot. Spirit, what is currently blocking group number 1? We have Sharon with reciprocity. Okay, let's see. We're going to get another. And then we have vanishing mirror, ego sublimation. Ooh. All right. Definitely an ego thing going on here. And I feel like there's something here with not looking at ourselves fully, avoiding the truth. But with reciprocity too, I feel like there's something here from Spirit that what's blocking us is we're not putting enough energy and focus towards what we actually want more of. And it could be because our ego is, for whatever reason, trying to protect us. I think there's a big fear of being seen. You were even drawn to the 8 of Swords that has a mirror in it. There's synchronicity here with mirrors. And look at this person's face is covered. There's a fear of being seen and being who you truly are. Fear of being judged. And it's, I know the ego gets a bad rep, but it's there for a reason. But, it also gets in the way of things. So it thinks it's protecting us by being like, play small, group number 1. Don't put yourself out there. Don't be who you truly are. People won't accept you. Like, play it safe. But that's actually blocking you from moving forward. You're not being your true self. And because of that, you're not actually putting your energy and your focus, your attention onto what you want more of. We're playing certain roles, doing what we think we should do. And again, there's this big, deep-seated fear of being seen and being yourself. That's really what's coming through here. So, Spirit, tell us more, please. Excuse me, I feel like my throat chakra is a little blocked today. Something's going on. Spirit, tell us more. What is blocking group number 1? The 10 of Wands in reverse. What is blocking group number 1? 5 of Swords. World. So yeah, there's definitely something Spirit saying. We're holding on to a lot of burdens, but you are able to release this. A lot of worries, a lot of stuff from the past. I think there was something in the past where someone was kind of a bully, kind of mean, put you down. It was like, you're not creative, or you look ugly, or you're fat. Like whatever people say to us, especially when we're young, we hold on to it, and sometimes we don't always realize it. It could be subconscious. But the 5 of Swords implies that there was something that happened. Someone kind of dominated you, was mean in some sort of way in the past. Definitely probably childhood. But now we've hung on to that, and now we're being mean to ourselves, saying, oh, we're not good enough, or we could never do that. We can't put ourselves out there. This is all about a fear of being seen, a deep-seated fear of being seen, because when you did something when you were younger, something came up, someone was mean, said you weren't good at something. Maybe it was a caretaker, a teacher, a kid, and we carried that with us, and it's preventing us from being seen by having, like, the world is all about, people seeing you for who you truly are. But if you look at the Rider-Waite-Smith version, you see all these people around this woman, and she's nude, and it represents being your authentic self, who you truly are, and there's all these eyes on her. So there's this fear of putting yourself out there, which is blocking you from the success that you want, from the relationships that you want, from the life that you truly desire. Yeah, it's holding you back from relationships, maybe from showing up authentically in relationships, asking for what you want in relationships, or maybe going after people in relationships here. And maybe we're like, why aren't our relationships really working out? But it's because we're showing up to relationships not being our true selves. And maybe we're a little bit of people pleasers, or we are just trying to present ourselves the way we think they'll like us most. But then it's not working out for us, because ultimately that's not who we truly are. And there's going to be some misalignments. So spirits, we're going to get advice cards and everything on how to break free from this pattern, but there's definitely some coming through. Like, being ourselves is how we're going to actually draw in the love, the relationships, the friendships, the opportunities that are truly aligned with us. Like, let's say, you're start dating some guy, and like he like loves outdoors and he loves camping and all that, and you're like, no way. Like, I'm not into that. But you're like, on your first date, they ask you like, oh, do you like hiking and all that stuff, and you're like, oh yeah. So and then they think you're into camping, and then they invite you on these things, you start doing all the stuff you really just dislike, and like, it's like you were doing it because you want them to like you, but ultimately it's lying, and there's value misalignment, and it could lead to unhappiness and resentment, and not being fulfilled in your relationship. That's just an example here, but take how that resonates. The Three of Swords. Yeah, there's been heartbreak. It's been painful, and your ego is trying to protect you because you've been hurt in the past badly. And you're like, it's like, you have this subconscious thought, you can't be yourself, you can't be seen, or you'll get hurt again. Subconscious pattern, like, oh, you're not good enough as you are, so act this way. Play small. Don't put yourself out there. People will laugh at you or be mean to you, won't accept you. Four of Swords. Let's get one more time here. Six of Wands. Yeah, this is all about being seen and putting yourself out there. Not feeling good enough. Not feeling like you've been respected or people will respect you. Not feeling like people will accept you. But you know what? That's all just programming, conditioning, and your ego telling you that. It's not true. It's not true at all. Spirit's coming through right now and saying, when you decide and choose to be who you truly are, and work through these fears, get rid of the fears, vanish them, and unleash the burdens and that you've been carrying around with you, the traumas, the negative thoughts. That's when things will change. Well, let's get some advice cards here. Let's make sure we're in frame. Get more tarot, but let's get let's get some guidance through the oracle. What can group number 1 do to overcome these limiting beliefs and fears around being seen and fears around getting hurt? Oh, take it easy. It did come out in reverse. I feel like there's a message here. We keep taking the easy path, Spirit's saying. Not putting yourself out there, not taking a chance on yourself. But Spirit's like, the way to break free this, it's going to be scary, but the way to break free is actually to put yourself out there, to sign up for that thing, to, put yourself on social media. It's going to be so different for each of you. But like, what is a desire you wanted, or like, and you just haven't gone for it? How can you put yourself out there and be seen? Doing that more and more, make it easier for you. You don't need to just take the easy path, the small path. You don't need to play small anymore. You are meant to be like this sun. You are meant to shine bright. The world needs more of your light, group number 1. Tell us more, please. We have, this is from the Inner Child deck, which I feel like is important here, entanglement. I want to read from the guidebook this one, because I think we're very entangled to this belief that you're not good enough. I think there's totally this energy too that people won't recognize you or won't respect you for who you are. I don't think, maybe you didn't get recognized for your beauty, your talents, for your authenticity when you were young. Something happened and it's in your head now that like, I can't put myself out there. I can't be me, or no one will accept me. No one will recognize me. I'm not good enough. Like, these are deep seated, but we're going to read and get the advice here, but you have so much to share with the world, and there are people that will recognize you for who you are and love your gifts. Of course, like with anything, putting yourself out there, like for example on social media or at work, like there will be times when maybe there are people that out there that don't like you. You're not going to be for everyone, but that doesn't mean you should shut down and not be who you are, because for every one person that doesn't like you, there's going to be so many more that really, can relate to you. And you being yourself, like you can really draw in these amazing friendships, relationships, opportunities, and you can really inspire others by being who you truly are. But let's see. Where is it? All right. We are born into a story that is already being told and has been told over many generations. We must untangle the threads that keep us bound to the limitations of the story in order to step into our lives as empowered adults. We release entanglements by identifying the fears, beliefs, and behaviors we have adopted and that keep us bound to suffering over the generations. We need to bring to light who and what was excluded or silenced. As long as someone in the family lineage is excluded, the repercussions will be felt by anyone in the lineage. An effective way of releasing entanglements is to identify and release your worst fear. Another clue to an entanglement could be if growing up you were told you are like your grandmother or you remind me of so-and-so. You might also be entangled if you are repeating the same behavior patterns as a family member or carrying fear, anxiety, and grief that do not belong to you. These emotions travel down the generations and need to be released back to their original owners with love and respect. This card indicates it is time to recognize something you have been carrying that does not belong to you. Ooh, so there's definitely ancestry, like family things here too. Maybe there's something here, like depending on what you identify as, but maybe you're like, oh, like girls are supposed to behave this way, boys are supposed to behave this way, and this is what we do in our family. And maybe that's what's kept you small. You're like, well, that's not for me. I have to go this route. I have to do this thing because that's what my family said I should do. Or that's what society said. hmm but now we have another message here. What was your worst fear as a child? And what is your worst fear as an adult? Write them down and describe how you would feel if that worst fear came true. If you can't pinpoint a worst fear, recall a story you have heard or a moment from a movie that struck you. In the journey below, you are going to let go of this fear by offering it back to your lineage, releasing it to the ancestors who shared this fear with you. Say out loud, "Dear ancestors, my inner child and I are here to offer back to you what is yours." If you guys want to screenshot this, you can do this journey later. It says, draw your family tree or visualize your ancestors in your mind's eye standing in front of you. Start with your parents, inviting them to stand in front of you. Then invite your grandparents to stand behind your parents and your great-grandparents to stand behind your grandparents. Speak your worst fear out loud and feel its effect on your body. Look at your lineage and say, I am here today to ask you if some of you share the same fear. With your permission, I am here to offer back what belongs to you. Watch some of them raise their hand or take a step towards you. Look at each one of them, and when you are ready, gather up the sensations, thoughts, and feelings associated with this fear and offer this back to the ancestors who have stepped towards you. Sense this fear flowing from you to them, or imagine offering it at their feet or into their outstretched hands. Take as much time as you need for the fear to leave your body. Once it feels complete, bow to each ancestor and thank them for taking back what belongs to them. Tell each one, you have a place in my heart. I will honor you by living my life fully. To anchor this process, create an altar with the pictures or names of the ancestors you connected with and light a candle to thank them for receiving back what belongs to them. From now on, trust that you receive their support and blessings and are connected to them through love, not fear. Wow, this is beautiful, especially if you're relating to that. I'm actually learning human design right now. I'm in a course, and there's certain people, that are more prone to carry other people's fears, and that could definitely be something with you guys. But also, it's just that programming and conditioning we were talking about, and definitely the fear. It is about being seen and being who you truly are and putting yourself out there. So let's look at the recognition now. I feel like these are really powerful things. I like that we're getting invitations and journeys here and advice from spirit directly. Okay. When we recognize everyone did their best, we claim our place as an adult. We agree to what is, we assert our right to exist, and we understand our sovereignty. We recognize that we too deserve love, belonging, and happiness. Recognition of our sovereignty is instrumental to wholeness and integrity. Everyone belongs in a family lineage, no matter what we have done or failed to do. Nobody and nothing can be excluded. Each one of us belongs to this earth, to ourselves, and to our families. It is crucial to recognize your place in your family lineage in order to feel whole. This card invites you to crown yourself with belonging and sovereignty and claim your place in your life. Check in with your inner child. Did they feel a sense of belonging to your family and an experience of full acceptance for who they were? Why or why not? Say out loud, I recognize you. You are my inner child. You belong. We invite you to journal by writing 2 short stories. The first one begins with, the baby was born at the wrong house. Allow your pen to write whatever comes to mind. The second one begins with, the baby was born at the right house. Allow the words to flow again and do not censor yourself. Observe the stories that define your belonging in your family. Is it hard to accept your lineage in your childhood? What if this was the right childhood for you? Yeah, I do personally believe we choose our families, but it seems like a lot of people in this group, maybe you're different than your family. You have different gifts and different interests, and maybe you just felt like you weren't accepted for them. So you push those away and have not, allowed yourself to be fully seen. So again, you guys can screenshot this if you want to take this journey, look into this invitation further. Let's get another oracle here from this deck. Spirit, what else? The beauty way. I think this card wants to come out as well. And the machine. Wow. Okay, so yeah, the machine is like, we're just doing things. We're just going with, we're not following our intuition. We're not following our desires. We're just doing what we're supposed to, just doing the 9 to 5, the routines that aren't, who we truly are. It's like the machine doesn't have a heart, a soul, and I feel like we have lost that. So Spirit's calling us to come back to ourselves, the beauty way, come back to our true essence. Follow our heart, follow our intuition. Make life more beautiful and more meaningful. We can see if there's, let's see. So beauty is much more than appearance and aesthetics. Beauty always has a deeper purpose, and it doesn't try to be anything other than what it is, which is why it takes our breath away. Life is beautiful, but it isn't pretty. Beauty is very different from pretty. Pretty is perfect, but it's static, fixed, paper thin. It holds no substance. It has no depth, and it's not really alive. Pretty never lasts, but beauty is timeless. Beauty holds the essence of life. It contains within it the great mystery. Birth, birth and death are beautiful. Love is beautiful. Friendship is beautiful. Growth is beautiful. All things are beautiful. All things that are beautiful have a tension within them. Perhaps it's this tension that makes them beautiful, for we appreciate how much of a blessing and miracle they are when we witness them in their fleeting state in that never to be seen again moment. Babies are beautiful. Flowers are beautiful. The ocean is beautiful. Life is beautiful. You are beautiful. Beauty transforms the beholder through its brutal honesty. It activates the breath of life as we exhale in awe, and this brings us into the present moment. If you open your eyes, you'll see that this world is made up of such beauty. And if you do your best to acknowledge it when you can, you'll be brought instantly into the present moment. You'll be inspired to embrace your true nature and sacred purpose, for it's the fact that all things change that makes them the more beautiful in each moment. This card is your reminder to seek the beauty of this world in your life and in turn create beauty wherever you go. Ooh, so that's all about getting more in the present moment. I think a lot of us, especially, this group, we can get stuck in worries, anxiety about the future, like depression about the past, like getting into a fear state. And Spirit's calling us, like, when we start to get fear, fear of being seen or fear of doing new things, fear of change, fear of putting ourselves out there, just to get more grounded and present, look around you and spot what's beautiful around you. Think about what you're grateful for, get more in your body. And that is really helpful here. And I also think there's a message here too when it was talking about beauty versus pretty. Pretty is perfect, and maybe you have a bit of a perfectionist tendency. Like, well, I'm not good enough. I can't do that. Like, I'm not, like, maybe there's certain things you want to do, but you're a beginner and you compare yourself to people who are way further along the path, and that stops you from even getting started. That perfectionist tendency, but know that the whole path is beautiful, and beauty isn't perfect. It's unique and authentic to each thing, to each person. All right, hopefully that's making sense. Now let's just see if the machine has any other messages for us. If the mystic is right, oh wait, sorry, wrong one. If the machine is right side up, consider whether you've been putting too much emphasis on the external for guidance rather than the internal. Our modern society tends to capitalize on what's well received, but we must be careful not to dampen the creative spark that made it possible. When we use our creativity for a controlled outcome, we can easily lose the magic and turn into producing, not creating. Producing starves the soul. It turns the mystic into a machine. This is the challenge for the artist, the mystic, to create, not produce. So the keywords for the machine are unsustainable ways, soulless, greed, parched, external validation, reaching, exhaustion, pushing, churn and burn, meaninglessness, paper thin, hungry for more, controlling, shallow. I think, yeah, it's just doing what we're supposed to do, like supposed to do in quotes, and what everyone's telling us to do, and not following our heart, not creating, just doing life, on autopilot. Spirit is calling us to come back to ourselves, and really work through these deep-seated fears and programming that we can't be ourselves, or that we can't be seen because that's not safe. And I think your inner child, spending some time with your inner child, telling them you are safe, and kind of proving it to them by slowly introducing yourself, by slowly doing more. Oops, I dropped some of the deck, but we're not using that one anymore. Any other advice for group number 1? 9 of Cups. Wow, this is all about following your true desires, following your heart. Look at her heart is leading the way. Let your heart lead the way. What are your true desires? Get out your journal or the notes app in your phone, whatever you have. What are your true desires? And realize that it's just your fears and thoughts that are limiting you, and that you are not actually bound to your current reality, and that you can achieve anything you want, and that you are capable, that you are worthy, that you are enough. Follow your heart, follow your desires. And I know it'll be scary when you start making changes and start putting yourself out there more, but it'll get easier and easier as you go. On the bottom, we have the Queen of Pentacles here. This is all about nurturing yourself, nurturing your desires, believing that you are worthy. I think there are spirits guiding you. Affirmations can be very helpful. I am worthy. I am enough. Whatever else resonates. You are meant to shine bright and to share your gifts, and you've been holding them in. You've been keeping them to yourselves, keeping yourself away from other people, keeping your gifts away from other people, maybe even keeping them from yourself. So Spirit is challenging you, group number 1, to follow your heart, to step into the unknown, to step into the uncomfortable, to be who you truly are, to comfort that inner child, let them know it's safe, give them a hug, like literally hug yourself. No, and just slowly do that more and more. And coming back to the first card, we need to put more energy and focus to our heart's desires. The more we do, the more you'll get back, the more you'll see progress here. And again, when you catch yourself being an inner bully, saying those affirmations will be truly helpful here. All right, so I hope that gave you some insight, something to think about, something to work through. You will totally get through this. I feel like your life is about to blossom and bloom and be so beautiful. And yeah, you will not be stuck for long, group number 1. All right, that concludes your reading. I hope it resonated. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got value from it. If you did, please subscribe if you haven't already and like this video. It really lets me know that you did get value from it, that you liked it. So thank you in advance. And leave a comment down below if you'd like. Let me know what group you're coming from. And if you'd like to book a private reading with me, again, you can do so at kittyrising.com, link below. Also there you'll find a link to memberships. I'm truly so grateful you were here, though. So even if you don't want to work further together, I hope this video helped you out. And I'm truly grateful for each and every one of you for being here. I love you so, so, so much. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, group number 1. I love you. Welcome, group number 2. You are drawn to this 8 of Swords here. So we're going to see today what is blocking you and how to move through that, how to overcome any of the obstacles or whatever is going on for you. We're going to get clarity and insight. But before we do so, I just want to take a moment and say thank you. Thank you all so much for being here. You are all so welcome and so loved in this space. Thank you to your spirit guides, to my spirit guides for assisting with the reading today. And thank you, Spirit, for your clear and accurate messages. So what is going on? What is blocking group number 2? All right, let's actually start off with 2 Oracle and then we'll get into the tarot. What is blocking group number 2? Okay, something within our shadow is going to come out today. Avoiding our shadow. Tell us more, please. A lot of times something in our shadow is something we've really been suppressing that we aren't aware of. So that makes sense. It's coming through today. What is it, Spirit? The Wailing Tree. Reconciliations. I just felt like that other card was kind of sticking out, so I grabbed it. Lost Compass. Getting back to integrity. This is interesting. That could be, the tree makes me think of ancestry, our families. Maybe there's something from childhood that really upset us, that we're holding within. Fear, anger, sadness, and are feeling really lost right now. Spirit's calling us to, recognize that certain relationships in our past have really affected us and are still affecting us. This could be affecting your current relationships. You could be repeating patterns, of relationships, of people's relationships and family dynamics when you were younger, and could be having you lost in your current situation. Let's get some tarot out. Spirit, can you expand on this? Maybe we will look at the guidebook in a moment for that one. But what is blocking group number 2? Seven of Lanterns. Yeah, there's a lot of guard up, a lot of boundaries, like, like almost too much, like not fully letting people in with this, like always on edge, always on guard, like even if we don't want to be this way, I think we have some walls up that are affecting our relationships and just our path in general. We might just be really on guard because I feel like someone hurt us in the past. We've all had that experience, right? But now we're always on guard, like thinking everyone's out to get us or not fully trusting others. Maybe even not always trusting ourselves. Maybe we feel like we did something wrong and hurt other people too. I think it could be really both for a lot of us. Yeah, on the bottom deck here, I see, wow, we have the 10 of Cups in reverse and then the 3 of Swords. Yeah, there's been a lot of pain and heartbreak that is preventing us from, in the past, it's preventing us from having healthy dynamics and relationships in this present moment. And I feel like even if we were really hurt by people in the past, I know it says reconciliation. We don't have to actually reconcile, like, face to face, forgive people or make everything right again, because every case is different. Sometimes that should not happen. But acknowledging the past and saying like, okay, well, they did the best they could with what they knew, even if it wasn't good, and just taking that power back, just forgiving. It doesn't mean it's okay, but like just letting them go. There's like forgiveness rituals you can look into. There's this Hawaiian one. I always feel like I say it wrong. I don't even know right now. I can't. But if you looked up Hawaiian forgiveness ritual, you would know. You'd find it right away. But I think we're definitely lost on our path because of past relationships that were painful, that didn't work out. Maybe a broken family dynamic in some sense. And since then, we've been overly protective of our heart, understandably so, but it's, preventing us from what we truly want. What we truly want seems to be connection. This could be friendship, like maybe even it's affecting you getting clients or work, love for sure. Nine of Cups. Yeah, it's preventing us from our desires. It really is. We might have a pattern here of self-sabotaging or a repeating pattern of people that are deceitful to us, that are hurtful, that go behind our back, that aren't trustworthy. And we might be like, why does this keep happening to me? And I think we might, blame others a lot. But Spirit's calling us to be like, well, why do I keep picking these people? Is there what, how do I have a role in this? Because that's what I can control, right? So why, there could be a part of us that thinks, oh, maybe we're not worthy of healthy love, or maybe we're just emulating like the dynamics we saw growing up. Or again, maybe we are subconsciously choosing people in our lives that we know won't fully love us so we can protect our heart, or, like there's so many things here, and it's in our shadow. It wouldn't make sense. Like, why would I purposely go for people that are non-committal, when I want a relationship? But it's like you're protecting yourself. You have these guards up because you've been hurt in the past. You've seen people get hurt in the past. Even though you don't want you're hurting yourself. You're self-sabotaging yourself from what you truly want. But it is all because your ego, your shadow is trying to protect you at the same time. This is very conflicting energy here, but this is something that we can definitely change when we acknowledge this, when we recognize this, so we can really move forward here. And when it says lost compass, it's like, yeah, we've lost our way. Like, And getting back to integrity, that means like, choosing ourselves and choosing people who are more aligned with us, not having these patterns of deception. Oh, my cat's meowing. I don't know if you hear that, but she's agreeing. Okay, let's get one more tarot card here. The Elder of Lanterns. This is like the King of Wands here. There's something, yeah, there could be someone in your life, someone that was older, parental figures, maybe. There's something here with the checkbook. Is that a checkbook and the paper? It's like there could be some limiting beliefs, like you're not worthy of love until you have more money, until you have your life together, until, you've got your shit together pretty much. And some of you might be kind of self-sabotaging away like your success because again you're protecting your heart. And you might have been really rewarded for good grades or like accomplishments or sports, whatever it is for you. So you always tied your worth to something outside yourself, towards your skills, and maybe right now you feel like, oh, I'm not where I'm at, want to be in life, and that could also be like, I'm not worthy of love. I'm not worthy of connection yet because I need to do better. And it's like this loop of kind of not fully putting yourself out there or choosing the wrong things for yourself. It ultimately comes down to you feeling like I'm not worthy, I'm not enough, or I have to protect myself. I'm not safe. So we're going to see what advice comes through from Spirit, but there's definitely something here with like really telling your inner child you are safe and it is safe to love. And, with love, it always is a risk. There's always a risk of us hurting someone else or us getting hurt. It's always a risk, but that's something we have to take. And also it could be worth it, when you have these more healthy relationships where you can communicate openly, let someone in. It won't be as dramatic of an ending, even if it does end eventually. But we don't need to focus on that. Being in the present moment, getting to know people, getting to know ourselves, letting people in. It'll be a slow process, but I feel like it all comes down to you letting your inner child know it's safe. It's safe to let people in. It's safe to be yourself. And that you are worthy of love inherently. You are worthy of relationship of all kinds. You don't need to have external things. It's like you are just inherently worthy of love and a good life because you are, just for being you. I'm just making sure we're center. I think we're pretty good here. All right, let's get some advice cards now, Spirit. What advice? How can group number 2 move past this? Slow down. And then I let go. Yeah. So, let go of these limiting beliefs, let go of control, let go of everything we've been talking about. But the way to do that is to slow down and go within. I think we've been avoiding our shadow. We've been avoiding it because it's painful. It is painful to address things that maybe happened in our past, the hurt, the pain. But in order to really let go of those walls we built up around our heart, we need to slow down and go within. Maybe you keep overly busy to avoid the pain, to avoid the emotions. Spirit's calling you to slow down and listen to your heart, listen to your emotions, feel through them. And that's the way, by slowing down, by feeling through, that's the way you're able to let them go. What advice do you have for group number 2 here, Spirit? Fear. I'll ask group, I read from this because it has actual things we can do, so let's read. But yeah, there's fear. That's all comes down to fear, right? Fear of being seen, fear of being loved, fear of getting hurt, fear we're not enough. Okay, All right. Our survival brain keeps us alive. It regulates body temperature, heartbeat, breathing, moving, resting, and feeding. It also allows us to run away from danger, fight to protect ourselves, freeze and play dead, or appease in order to survive. The survival network of the brain is focused on identifying and responding to threats and shut down access to our frontal cortex if it believes a threat is present. This is useful when we are faced with a predator in the wild, as we need to respond as fast as possible to survive. However, if you didn't receive consistent emotional support as a child, the survival brain will kick in anytime intense emotions arise. This is maladaptive because the survival brain isn't equipped for emotional processing. All it can do with intense emotions is to freeze/numb out, fight, run away/dissociate, or appease. None of these strategies offer the needed soothing to quiet the heightened nervous system response. The presence of survival strategies is not a personal failure, and there's nothing wrong with you. It's just the way our brains were wired in childhood because the lack of a reliable support person. As we reparent ourselves, we become the reliable adult for our inner child as we acquire resources to stay present to our feelings without allowing them to determine our actions. This card invites you to change the way your brain processes feelings and acknowledge and soften fears you might have been carrying your whole life. So, what is your inner child afraid of? Listen to these fears without judgment. Say to your inner child, "It is okay to be afraid. We all are afraid sometimes. There is nothing wrong with you. From now on, every time an intense emotion arises, I will support you through it." And now we have a journey here you can take. Whenever you notice yourself slipping into fear, worry, or anxiety, and losing your sense of joy and connection to yourself, check in with your body. This simple breath technique signals to your nervous system that you are safe. It quiets the survival response and with time allows you to shift into the comfort of the present moment. When you are afraid, the present moment disappears from your awareness and you are drawn to the past or into the future. Remembering that you have a body invites you back into the present where no survival threat exists. You are safe right here, right now. Inhale for 4 seconds, pause, and suspend the breath for 4 seconds, and exhale for 8 seconds. As you continue with this breathing pattern, check in with your physical body. Ask yourself, do I have toes? Do I have feet? Do I have legs? Feel the soles of your feet on the floor. Notice the weight of your legs. Feel the weight of your spine leaning against the support behind you, and check in with as many parts of your body as you can. Continue with this breath until you feel settled and present. Right, you guys can screenshot this inner child prompts and also the journey if you'd like. But yeah, breath work is very powerful. You're feeling those fears and anxiety creep up in any situation. It really is. All right, let's get some more cards here, Spirit. Tell us more. What can group number 2 be? The burning rose. Create some space. Let's read these two. But create some space. Slow down. Create some space also by, letting go of resentments, fears, anger, the strong emotions we've been clinging on to. But, let's see what. The burning rose is a symbol of sacred rage. Ooh, this makes so much sense with the wailing. Yeah, okay. Of anger alchemized into something creative, into passion, not destruction. We tend to see anger and rage as something we should avoid, as if expressing these emotions is to be avoided or even wrong, as if anger is something that should be controlled and restrained. Boys are taught that their anger is dangerous, and women that their rage isn't feminine. Women who have the courage to harness their anger are often accused of being crazy and unstable, but this stops the flow of passion and the ferocious urge of the feminine to protect what's sacred. Anger or rage is often a reflection of what's important to us. It can be a signpost to our boundaries or lack thereof. It can be a guiding light revealing what we most truly care for, long for, or wish to protect. It can also hold within it the codes of our true passion and purpose. But we must do the job of listening to our anger and offering it a safe space to be released and expressed. When we repress something, there's always a consequence. It might fester in the body and make us sick. It might paralyze us and prevent us from living passionately. Or it might be expressed in ways that are physically, mentally, and emotionally harmful to others. Alchemize anger in positive ways, using it to create rather than repress or negatively destroy, is some of the holiest work there is. Wow, yeah, that's such a message here of guidance to let go of the emotions, the sadness, the anger, the fears, all that you've been harboring within yourself that's been blocking you from moving forward here. And when you do that, I really feel like you're going to create some space. But here's some journal prompts here. What do you feel angry or frustrated about? Can you transform that anger into passion by changing your focus from what you're against to what you're for? Okay. Now let's see where. I don't know. This is split up into sections. Where is create space? Oh, it's actually the next page. Many mystical texts suggest that grace fills the spaces we're courageous enough to leave empty. How are you being called to make more space in your life? How can you create more room to breathe? How can you allow more space in your life? What would happen if you resisted the need to busy yourself or to be certain, and instead, just for a moment, stopped? This card is encouraging you to take it easy and rest in the unknown mystery that's waiting for you, to be silently pulled towards your becoming. Life is a co-creative journey, but in order for that creation to happen, we must enter into a collaborative relationship with the mystery of life itself. Maybe you've been in overdrive for a while. Maybe you prefer it when you're in control. Or perhaps you've just been doing the same thing for some time and are feeling a little bored. How can you create more space in your life to both dream into the future and let life surprise you? What if by creating some space you were to find an unexpected blessing or the future fulfillment of a dream waiting for you there? All of life begins in the metaphoric and actually fertile void of the womb. When something ends, whether that be a relationship, a job, a TV show, or a conversation with a friend, many feel the need to fill the space with something else. But if we find a way to honor endings, to gather the courage to be in between what was and what will be, something incredible and new can be born. So the journal prompt for this one is, how are you being called to create more space in your life? Mm-hmm. All right, let's get a tarot card or two. What else, Spirit? What advice, guidance do you have for group number 2? Ace of Flags in reverse. This is like the Ace of Wands. Or wait, the Ace of Swords in reverse, sorry. This is a lot of times indicating like a focus on defeat, feeling like you're a failure or it's too late for you. You know, the swords all come down to like our thoughts, our mental space. And I think we're too focused on maybe what we don't have or what's not working out. We might really be thinking, oh, we're failures. We might be comparing ourselves to others, or it's too late for us. It is not. Spirit is calling you to know that now is the time. You can do anything now. It's never too late. You're not too old. You're not too this. You're not too that. Not too late to find love. It's not too late to improve your finances, whatever it is. It's not too late to heal. You can heal. You aren't broken. You aren't stuck. We all have limiting beliefs. We all have a past, a history. We all have fears that have come from it. And Spirit doesn't want you to feel overwhelmed by this reading today or anything like that. It's just now just having this awareness, the mental clarity. That's also the Ace of Flags upright would be mental clarity and like revelation here. And this is what today is about. Now you have this idea of what you've been harboring in your shadow, the anger, the resentment, the sadness of things that from the past, that have made you have major guards up, walls up around your heart, and it's all in order to protect yourself, but ultimately it's been maybe keeping you from having the success, from having the love, the friendships, whatever it is that you're wanting. So Spirit's calling us to slow down, to listen to our thoughts, to feel our emotions, not to suppress them anymore. And it might be uncomfortable, it might suck for a bit, but once you do that, it's going to create so much space in your life, within your body. You're going to feel lighter. And then you're going to be able to think more clearly, and then you're going to identify yourself. Like when you see yourself going after unhealthy relationships, or when you see yourself taking or doing self-sabotaging things, or playing small, or whatever it is, or seeking external validation. And because you have that clarity, you can catch yourself, you can make different decisions, and slowly but surely your life, not even slowly, like, but you're going to see that your life is going to shift and change, and there's going to be a lot more abundance pouring in, a lot more love, a lot more success. So don't be afraid to feel. Don't be afraid to slow down. Let go of the control you may have, the walls you have. It's not easy work, but it's going to shift your life, and it's going to be so worth it. So worth it, group number 2. Oh, that concludes your reading. I really do hope this resonated. I hope you got value from the reading. If you did, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and like this video. By liking it, it really lets me know that you did get value from it, and it helps me out, so I appreciate you in advance. And also leave a comment down below if you'd like. You can let me know what group you're coming from, how you're doing. And if you'd like to book a private reading with me, you can always do so on my website, kittyrising.com. If you want to support the channel further, get more content from me, you can check out the membership link. But I'm truly just grateful that you guys are here. And I really hope, even if we don't work together further, that you get a lot of value from these readings. I truly do. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. I love you so much. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, group number 2. I love you. Welcome, group number 3, to your reading. You are drawn to this 8 of Swords here from the Curious Creatures Tarot. So before we get started and see what's blocking you and how to move forward, I want to take a moment and say thank you. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you to your spirit guides, my spirit guides, for assisting with the reading today. Thank you, Spirit, for your clear and accurate messages. And I messed up my intro. I normally say you are all so welcome and so loved in this space, which you so are, group number 3, which could be something that comes up later, but we'll see. I was kind of feeling like maybe I missed that part, because maybe there's a certain fear or limiting belief some of us have in group number 3, that we're not welcome, that we're not loved, that we're not accepted for who we are. But we'll see how that comes through. Let's get some oracle first, and then we'll get into the tarot. So Spirit, what is blocking group number 3? What is blocking group number 3? We have Guardians, Cerberus. Yeah, I was shuffling too. I was picking up on their personality. There could be actual like relationships in your life. Or ourselves guarding our hearts. On the bottom of the deck, I see loneliness. So we might be overly protective of ourselves and keeping ourselves away from other people, away from getting too close, because we're afraid they won't accept us, or if they won't love us, or afraid we'll get hurt. Okay, let's see. Spirit, tell us more. We have the horn cactus, resourcefulness. But look at that. Like the cactus is like, you can't get too close to me. I've got this guard up. If you come close, maybe I'll prick you. Or maybe there's like this, whether it's conscious or not, maybe we come off a little cold or harsh, or we push people away, or we self-sabotage, and we, it's not, sometimes we don't want to push people away, but it's like our ego, our inner self, trying to protect us from getting hurt or taken advantage of. I think that's a big thing here that's coming through. We're overly guarding our heart, overly protecting ourselves, And it's ultimately leading us to us feeling lonely and unfulfilled. Maybe settling in relationships or not being in any at all, not putting ourselves out there to meet people, or when we do, not really opening up, being extremely guarded and overly protective of ourselves. Mm-hmm. All right, Spirit, tell us more about this. What is blocking group number 3? We have the Page of Wands. What is blocking group number 3? Another page. Okay, pages can represent children. So I think there is really something here from childhood, something that we've been um, holding on to. We had to guard ourselves. Maybe people were mean to us. Also, there could be something too, like we don't put ourselves out there for new opportunity, for new adventure, because we're afraid like it won't work, and okay. Wait, I need some clarity. Tell us more. We will be using an inner child deck later for guidance and how to move through this. Yeah, the Lovers in reverse. This is separation from other people, relationships not working out. Someone could have abandoned us when we were younger, or in our in past relationships where we felt abandoned from other people. Uh, we have a pattern. We feel like we're being ghosted by a lot of people. We feel like relationships just aren't working out for us, that it's hard to move forward here. It's hard for us to achieve our goals. And a lot of times we project this outwardly, we're like, everyone's doing this to me, these people are ghosting me. No one's giving me new opportunities. No one's hiring me or something. But we're not recognizing, like, the one thing that we can control is how we react and what we do and our choices. So what is our part in this? There's always something here. Are we choosing the wrong people? Are we overly guarded? Are we not opening up? Do we come off a certain way that could be blocking us from developing anything or moving forward here? Are we self-sabotaging to protect ourselves because we're afraid of getting hurt because we did in the past? We're just trying to open our eyes to see these patterns and things that, that are definitely blocking us from moving forward and having the life we truly want. I think a lot of us here, we want to move forward. We want better finances. We want new relationships. We want more adventure and fun in our life. We want friendship. We want partnership. And we might not really recognize how we could be self-sabotaging that, or not seeing the patterns and roles we have. Yeah. The Ten of Swords and the Four of Swords. Yeah, it's pain. These painful thoughts, things in the past are keeping us stuck. Hmm. But the thing is, it doesn't mean you're going to be stuck forever. But Spirit really wants to recognize, or you to recognize that these swords that have been pinning us down, that have been keeping us stuck, can be removed. And we are going to work on that today and see how we can remove these, how we can remove the limiting beliefs, how we can remove these thorns and these guardians of our hearts, so we can let people in. We can unveil ourselves and be who we truly are, and let people in, and move forward here to new opportunity. Not hide away and play small because we're afraid of the unknown, afraid of what people think. Maybe when you were young, maybe someone said you weren't good at this, or you're not creative, or maybe people didn't support you and you felt like you were on your own and had to protect yourself. And that's carried over into adulthood. And I think this has been deeply ingrained in your shadow, and we're being called today to integrate our shadow, to acknowledge it, to work through this, and we'll come into balance. And that's the way forward here. The devil on the bottom. Yeah, look at that's what's been keeping us stuck. But see, there's a way forward. You're not truly locked up. You're not truly stuck. The devil oftentimes is our fear, illusion, and we're gonna learn how to break free of that today. Okay, we'll see what Spirit wants to say, how you can get through this. All right. How can group number 3 overcome this block? How can they let their guards down? How can they be more vulnerable and open? How can they overcome these limiting beliefs that they have had for a while now that are deeply ingrained in their shadow? We have be generous. Yeah, there's one thing, we might be overly guarded and we might have limiting beliefs that like people are bad, people, are, everyone goes, everyone leaves, no one does this. There's a lot of limiting beliefs about other people. And of course, there are some bad people in the world, but you know what? There's even more good people. And one thing that Spirit's saying that could really help you is to be generous with your time, especially if you're feeling lonely, you don't feel like you have friends or like purpose in your life. Maybe you're looking for a job. Like there's one thing that you're being really called to do that'll really change your perspective and give you purpose and feel good, is to be generous with others, is to volunteer, is to be helpful towards other people. And it might sound counterintuitive. You're like, but I want to be helped. I want this, and I can see that, you feel that, but this will actually be what fills your cup up, what feels really good, that gives you this meaning and purpose, that gets you out of this funk, that gets you meeting other people, that gets you seeing the good in other people, that makes you feel good about yourself again. And Spirit also wants you to watch your words. How do you speak about other people? How do you speak about yourself? Words are spells. And we create more of that, when we like what we say is honestly us creating. So if we transform our thoughts, we can transform our world. So Spirit really wants you to pay attention to how are you speaking about yourself? How are you speaking about your circumstances? How are you speaking about the people in your life, the people in the past? Like maybe, like, oh, like everyone deceives me, everyone leaves me, like old guys, old girls, old people suck. They all do that, like it's just drawing more of that energy to you, or it's really activating your reticular activating system, your RAS, to identify more of that. Like you're like, oh yeah, there's more bad people. I see more bad things. I think also another thing coming through is like maybe to watch less news or less things that trigger you or make you feel angry or make you think worse about other people. Again, being in situations where you help others, where you see the good in others, like when you're meet like-minded people who are also volunteering, also helping. It's an animal shelter, a food bank, whatever it is, just helping your neighbors out, connecting with people that way, and then it's gonna help shape your thoughts, and you're gonna slowly like start truly believing that not all people are bad, and you're not bad, others aren't bad. It's worthy, it's worth taking the risk of letting people in and meeting new people. I know there's always risk involved with love or relationships. You could hurt them, they could hurt you. That's just a part of it. But when we start choosing better and we recognize our patterns, it's going to be worth that, and it's going to be part of your journey here. But I can just see group number 3, like there's this very conflicting energy. I feel it, like wanting connection with others, but then there's this large part of you that is pushing it away or avoiding it because of past pain, because of these limiting beliefs, because your ego, your inner child is trying to protect themselves. And Spirit, your guides want you to know it is safe, and let your inner child know that it is safe. It is safe to be around others. Not all people are bad. We're adults now. We can protect ourselves. We can make better choices. We can do what we want to do. Okay, speaking of inner child, let's get something from the inner child back here. Tell us more, please, Spirit. Power. Yeah, Spirit really wants us to take our power back. Our power's been given away to others. It's been, you know, given away to the past, given away to negative situations. We're going to read and see what this says. But look, she's in tree pose, but she's like grounded. She's balanced. This could be something that is coming through too for you guys to do more grounding work, to do yoga, to do stretches, like to move your body that can get some of the stagnant energy out of your body, out of your system that maybe you've been holding on to for a long time. Okay, number 24. Okay. Power allows us to stand rooted, to lean on the support of our community and of our lineage with flexibility and resilience. Like a tree, our roots grow deep and draw nourishment from our past, and the richer the soil, the taller and stronger we can grow. When the soil is depleted or there aren't any other trees to network with, we are weakened. It is a fallacy of our times to believe that we can stand alone and be fulfilled and powerful. True power can only exist alongside love and courage, otherwise it is mere force. To be lasting, power needs to be shared and nourished by our sense of belonging and by our service to others. That is the deepest power we have, to answer the call of our heart and extend our gifts and service for the benefit of others. This card invites you to step into your power with confidence and ease. And then we have some reflection here to do with your inner child. It says, as a child, did you have a sense of the power adults around you being used? Wait, sorry, I'm going to say that again. As a child, did you have a sense of the power of adults around you being used with wisdom and kindness? Or did they implement discipline with force? Does your inner child feel a connection with their own power? Recall a moment when you felt empowered. Say to your inner child, nobody can take our power away. It is our birthright. And then we have a journey here. And if you guys are really resonating with this, you can screenshot this. You can like journal on this and do the journey. Let's see what the journey is. For centuries, money and power have been tirelessly sought out by human beings seeking respite from existential angst. Yet, this search is fruitless unless what is sought is connected with empowering others as well as ourselves. We stand rooted, reaching towards the heavens as beings that act as a bridge between matter and spirit. We belong to both realms, and therefore true power is experienced by meeting our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual needs, with the goal of being of service to others. Close your eyes and sense where this longing for power lives within you. Where do you notice it in your body? What does it feel like? If you had all the power in the world, what would you do? Sit with this exploration without judgment. How would you use your power? Would you help others? Why or why not? If your imagination calls you to selflessly use power, do not judge. Be with the experience and notice what need is being met. This longing for power might be compensating for the powerlessness you felt as a child. Now is the time to explore your relationship with power. Okay. But there's a large emphasis here on you being of service to others, helping others, showing up with others. I think this will really bring your power back to you. And I think a big thing that's been taking away your power, that's been compromising you again, is everything we've been talking about. Thinking other people are bad. Like there's this deep ingrained belief, I think, like it along the lines of people are bad, people are mean, people hurt me, etc., etc. Take out resonates with you. That's definitely another thing to think about. But being of service, being generous to others, it may seem counterintuitive, I know, but it's actually going to really open. Sorry, my camera cut out. Group number 3. Let's get some more cards here, Spirit. What can group number 3 do with advice? What guidance do you have? We have the darkest night. A lot of times it could be about the darkest night of the soul. And then on the bottom of the deck, we have Chamber of Surrender. So darkness, it represents our shadow, our inner world oftentimes. And I think we're being really called to go within, to really spend that time recognizing, what guards we have up, the limiting beliefs, the things from the past. And this will help us really be able to clear that. And then surrender is all about being open. And we've had our guards up, right? So being open and letting go of the resistance, letting love in, letting spirit guide us. So let's let's read what it has to say here for us in the guidebook. Some glamorize the spiritual awakening process, implying that it's all light and love, expanding highs, unity consciousness, deep peace, ecstatic bliss, and spiritual visions. One thing's for certain, these people probably haven't been through the dark nights of the soul. This is a time of deep initiation for the soul. After the expansion caused at earlier stages of the awakening journey, we're invited to descend into what's hidden in the shadows, inherited, pushed down, silenced, ignored, or bypassed. We're called to go deeper than we ever have before, as we welcome more and more of our soul here into our body and onto the planet. And as we do, we discover the lost parts of ourself that demand to be held and seen. And those parts ask that we sit with them as they feel in order to heal. These are excruciating, holy days of rebirth, of transfiguration, of dying and being reborn while still fully living. If we choose to cross this threshold, we're invited to allow our soul to come more fully into our body and the planet. This can be painful as we're forced to confront any separation or shadows that we find along the way. We must face the polarity and separation of this human life, as well as the joy and sweetness. These are initiatory times. The only way out is through, and if you let life initiate you, you'll be transformed anew. This is a powerful card of rebirth and transformation. Cloaked in the darkest nights, seemingly separated from the divine we once so deeply knew, we're invited to find the sacred that is all around us, between us and within us. And the soul inquiry with this card is, how is life currently trying to initiate you? And honestly, it seems by bringing things up that have been suppressed. So you can feel through them. So then you can move forward with a more open heart, open mind, and draw in the love, abundance, and all that you desire. Let's find that chamber of surrender. There is a mysterious pulse of life woven through every living thing. Everything changes, and so it should. Nothing is stagnant or permanent. So anything you attempt to control or cling tightly to will likely cause you to become out of sync with life's intelligent ways. And this card is your reminder to loosen your grip. This doesn't mean that the things you cling to for fear of nothing coming to take their place aren't meant for you. If you loosen your grip, they may indeed stay right there, but devoting all your life force to the clinging will likely leave you depleted, rigid, and stuck, as you rely on your personal will rather than the flow of life. Surrender requires courage and the faith that if you give it your all, that which is meant for you will find you. If you're looking to create something or call something in, surrender is an important part of the process. If you're having a difficult time in a relationship, surrender can be an essential ingredient. Sometimes the way to shift something is to find a way to soften our rigidity around it. Whether your dream is for a relationship, a career accomplishment, an acknowledgement, or to heal something all-consuming, surrender is key. This card comes with a message of hope and encouragement, telling you not to lose heart and to remember, keep telling yourself, I surrender, I surrender, I surrender. Yes, we surrender, we let go of the guards, the walls, the prickly things, the sharp edges. Okay, what else, Spirit? What else does group number 3 need to know? What final words of wisdom, advice? The Knight of Cups, yeah. The Knight of Cups is opening up their heart, is becoming more vulnerable, letting people in, letting love in. Spirit wants us to know, where we're at currently is we're missing out on true love and true connections, true abundance, whatever it is we're desiring, but emotional fulfillment, we can say. Because we're looking at all the things we don't have, we're looking at things from the wrong perspective. And Spirit's calling us to open our heart, let down our guards. And the only way to get there is through, feeling our emotions, like feeling the pain we've been suppressing. Taking accountability for our part, it doesn't mean that you're always wrong or anything like that. It's just we do play a part in our life. We are our own authorities, right? Um, so where have we maybe been pushing people away, or what thoughts, everything we've been saying, when we like shift our perspective, do things that Spirit's been recommending, we'll be able to see the opportunities around us. We'll be able to see the people around us that are good. Not all people are bad, and you are safe to open up. Now, like, you can look at your past experiences like, okay, now I can use discernment. I've been with some shady people, I've been hurt in the past, but now I know what red flags to look out for. Now I know what I value in a person, what I want more of. And now I can pay more attention to my body. How do I feel around them? Like, and you can just do a lot more reflection, and you can move forward now with a different perspective, and now you'll be safe, to and pick better and let people in with discernment. This will be what helps you through, because right now we have the Two of Cups in reverse, the Lovers in reverse, the loneliness. I think your soul is craving connection, but also pushing it away. That's the main message here today. So you can be aware of this, and now, work on what we've been talking about, reflect on what we've been talking about, shift your perspective, and then the beautiful love you want will be, you'll be able to see that, and you'll be able to um, move forward in healthy partnership of all kinds, especially when we've done this inner work and open our heart, and then we can show up as a better partner. So it's really worth taking that time to reflect on everything that we've talked about today. But Spirit wants you to know that connection and love, are coming for you. You are worthy and deserving of it. And again, I know people have hurt you in the past, but that doesn't mean there aren't good people out there. And there's nothing wrong with you. You didn't do anything wrong. You are inherently worthy of love. You are, just because you are you. All right, I think that wraps up your reading here. Anything else? Yeah. All right, group number 3, that concludes your reading. I hope it resonated, and I hope you got value from it. If you did get value from the reading, please subscribe if you haven't already, and like this video. It really helps me out and lets me know that you did get value from it. So thank you in advance. And if you wish, leave a comment. Let me know what group you're coming from. And if you'd like to go deeper with me, you can book a private reading at kittyrising.com. You can join memberships. That's below. We do live streams where we answer questions in depth, once a month for members, and there's more content. So just something to think about if you feel called to do so. But either way, I'm so grateful you're here, and I really hope you got value from it. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. I love you so, so, so much. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, group number 3. I love you.